When you're doing spell crafting for somebody else, like you're doing a spell for someone, there are some different things that you need to take into consideration compared to when you're doing spell crafting for yourself. And in this video, I just want to tell you what those differences are. But before I do, if you're new to the channel and you want to become Wiccan or you want to study Wicca, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. If you've come out of the broom closet to your friends and your family, at some stage they are going to ask you to do a spell for them or to give them some magical advice or even want to do a spell with you. And there are a couple of different things that you need to take into consideration when you're spell casting for other people that is slightly different to how you'd approach it if you're doing the spell for yourself. Now, if you've got the Spellcaster checklist, which is my free PDF, that shows you the questions and outlines and gives you some guidelines about what type of questions to ask yourself if you're doing a spell for yourself so that you can better plan your spells so they'll be more effective. You can use this same checklist to interview the other person, because the first step to doing a spell for someone else is to interview them and find out some information about what it is that they're wanting and what they're willing to do to get it. Meaning that a lot of people who aren't familiar with magic think that they can just get somebody to cast a spell for them and bang, everything's going to change. They don't have to lift a finger, do a thing, it's just going to happen. And occasionally it does. Occasionally it does. But most of the time, you've got to put in some kind of action or effort. So for example, if you've got a relative or a friend who's come to you to help get a job, then you need to have an interview with that person and just see where they're at in regards to their job hunting, what their resume looks like, how they're going out looking for work, what their skills are, all of these things, so that you can get an understanding as to how realistic they're being as to getting the type of job that they want. If you haven't downloaded the Spellcaster checklist, the link to it is below this video so that you can go through that list, and if you're working for someone else, you can ask them those very same questions to get a clearer idea about what it is they're wanting, what it is they may need to do. Tell them about magic, explain to them how magic works so that their expectations are realistic as well. And then you'll have more information to go by to understand what type of spell work or series of spell work to do to help them achieve whatever it is they're wanting to achieve. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to get a link to them in some way. So the link is either some of their hair, which is probably one of the most common ones, or something that has their energy on it, so that the magic can link to that person, so that the magic knows, okay, this is the person that this stuff's going to happen for. It's not always necessary to have a link. Magic can work without one, but if this person's got a particularly difficult situation that you're casting for, then the link will just help boost the results of your magic. Just that it just gives you that extra little bit of oomph into your magic. The second thing is make sure that you're using their name. You can add their address to your spell. So if you're doing an actual spell, chanting the spell, you want to make sure that their name and possibly also their address is included in that. And when you're getting into the emotional feel of it, visualize how they're going to feel and what they're going to look like when they get what it is that they want. So going back to the job example, if you've got a friend or a relative who's been really down in the dumps, they may be struggling financially because they can't get the job or they can't get the job they're wanting, see them when they get the job. How are they looking? What are they doing? And how are they feeling? And when you do that, you'll find that your own emotions will start to get into gear as well, because the next thing is, or the fourth thing, is to bring your own emotional energy into the spell. So when you see them achieving what it is that they want to achieve, what's your emotional reaction to them achieving it? And just enjoy that emotional reaction to them achieving what it is that they're wanting to achieve, because your emotion in relation to their achievement will also help direct that energy to them and away from yourself. One of the most difficult things about casting for other people is to connect with that person. If they're a friend or a family member, it's a lot easier to connect with them because you probably have some kind of emotional involvement in them in the first place. So seeing a friend or seeing a family member happy, whether it's to do with relationship, money, career, health, whatever, of course is going to set off a positive reaction within yourself. It's harder to do that with strangers because you don't have that connection with them. So they're really the 4 things that are important to spellcasting for other people. Interview them, make sure they know what magic really is about, but they also have to take action. When you're interviewing them, you also need to find out what their mindset is around a particular issue, because the way they feel about an issue or the way that they feel about themselves in relation to getting something will affect their behavior, which will affect the results, because they may not take the action they need to take to the magic to complete itself. The second thing is to get a magical link. The third thing is to see them, feel them, hear them, enjoying the fruits of the spell. And the fourth thing is to tap into your emotional reaction to that so that you're carrying the magic off emotionally. So do download the copy of Spellcaster Checklist if you haven't already, and start feeling confident about doing spells for yourself and spells for other people. And if you like this video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, don't forget to subscribe, and blessed be. I'll see you on the next video.